Hello, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me today for this inspirational talk. I'm going to share with you a few encouraging messages as to how we can stay steady and anchored and emerge into a changing world. But I do want to remind you that after the talk, I will guide you through a very brief meditation. So you want to stick around because that's the good stuff. So, last week, I was in the car heading to the pet store, and my daughter was in the passenger seat right next to me. And she looked over at me, and she grabbed her mask and very carefully put the elastic around one ear. She said, "Mommy, the world sure is different." And she put the mask and looped it around her other ear. And through her muffled mask, she said, "A lot has changed." And then she looked at me, and I couldn't see her face, but I could see her eyes. And in her eyes, I could see a very faint smile. And I looked at her, and I gave her a smile back. But I was fighting tears, because it was a very raw, and it was a very real moment. Because what she said was very simple. It is a different world. But it was very profound, because things have changed. I never imagined 3 months ago that I would be sitting in the car watching my kids put on masks. And I never imagined that the grocery stores would be shutting down or restricted in their hours, or that airline flights wouldn't be taking off into the skies. None of us could have imagined this world. And yet, I know that my kids won't always be wearing these masks. And I know that planes will take to the sky. I know that I can do my midnight grocery shopping again someday, but not on this day. So we're in a very unique time because the world's not what it is, but it's not yet what it will be. So I want to share with you today how we, as spiritual students and as community, can come together, but can practice as individuals, staying anchored and staying steady as we emerge in these changing times. Really, I think there's 4 ingredients, 4 basic daily practices that can help us stay steady as we emerge. So I want to go over those with you today. And in order to teach you about the first aspect, I'd like to introduce you to someone. This is Buddy. Buddy is old. Let me tell you about Buddy. When I was in 5th grade, at the age of 10, my family moved from Kansas City to a very small town just outside of Springfield, Missouri. And I went through my own sort of personal and private pandemic. You see, I was socially isolated from all the friends that I dearly loved. I was in a school, so it was familiar as far as being a school, but it was very different. The teachers were different, the way people spoke was different, the structure of the classes was extremely different. So it was very unique and was kind of strange for me. And because all this was a little emotionally overwhelming, I started physically not feeling very well. So every day I would come home with a tummy ache, and I would be sad, and I would feel alone. So it was a very difficult time for me, similar to the world right now. But one day I came home from school, and waiting there for me on my bed was Buddy. My mom had picked him up and found him at a local little store there in our town. And Buddy has been with me ever since. Buddy's my old friend. And in high school, when I was challenged or facing adversity, I would come home and Buddy would be on my bed and I would cling on to him. I didn't have to talk to him. He would just be there and I could cry it out and then I would feel better. And in college, when I was struggling and when my mom passed away, Buddy was there. And I would hold on to him and I would squeeze him. And I didn't have words, but I would know that he was there. And over the past couple months, Buddy has gotten some squeezes and he's received a lot of attention because he reminds me that I have made it, that I've faced challenges, that I've made it through adversity, but I'm here and I've seen it through. Now, you may not have Buddy, but I know you have something old. You have a buddy. You have something that you've held on to, something old that has lasted. And it may not be something physical. It might not be a stuffed animal. Maybe your old something is a shirt, or maybe it's an old pot or pan, or a set of china from someone that you loved. Maybe your something old is a song that you wrote years ago, or music that reminds you of when you were young. But there is something in you that reminds you here and now that is old, that you have made it. That truth, the fact that you're right here, proves to me, and should prove to you too, that you are strong, that you are determined, that you are wise, that you are focused, that you are supported, that you are loved. When we remember that by connecting with those things in our world that are old, we have that strength reinfused in us. We have a clarity and a focus that reminds us that we have made it this far. We are here now. And by leaning into that experience, by connecting with those things that are old, we know that we can make it through. You can. So cling to that thing that is old, because that will remind you of where you've been, remind you of all the things you've overcome, and show you that there is so much yet in your life to unfold. So hold on to the old. Now, I know that over this quarantine time, you've probably picked up a little something new. Maybe you've discovered fudge. Oh, no, wait, that's what I discovered. During quarantine, I discovered that I really like to make fudge. Peanut butter fudge, chocolate fudge, white chocolate fudge, any kind of fudge, really. You can make fudge with 3 ingredients. You can make fudge with 2 ingredients. It's easy. And fudge is good. So maybe you've discovered that it's fun to cook and you've picked up a new recipe that you really love. Maybe you've gotten into a new habit of walking and it's so fun to be outside and to get the fresh air. Maybe you've discovered a new board game that you really like and you're pretty good at it. Maybe you've discovered or you've learned a new hobby like quilting or painting or cross stitch. Maybe you've tried something new like an instrument that you've always wanted to play. Maybe you've watched a new movie or seen a new musical that really inspired you. But you see, during this time, when we've been sort of forced to refocus, it sparked something creative in each and every one of us, and I have no doubt that you've discovered something new. So even as we get back into somewhat of a routine, and as things kind of emerge back into what was, even though it's different, I want you to keep in the habit of practicing these things that you've picked up that are new. So even if you have to go back to the office, when you get home, walk. And even as you go back to the old patterns, well, still cook and enjoy those things that are new. Make space for those. If you've discovered that you like to journal and that's new, keep journaling. It's really a great outlet for you. So we hold on to these things that are old, but we also each day continue to practice these things that are new. Because I'll tell you what, this new thing that you've learned, this new idea, this new practice proves to you and demonstrates that you can change, that you can grow, that you are creative. It reminds you that no matter what the circumstances are, you will find a way to make good because you have, you will, and you do. So hold on to those things that are old each day, but practice these things that are new. So you need something old, and each day as we emerge strong in this changing world, we practice these things that are new. Now, some days are just tough, and some days fudge won't even fix it. Those are bad days. But it's true, some days are hard. And in those days, it's really important, and really in each day, it's necessary to know that we can lean into something borrowed because we're in this together. So every day you hold on to something old, you practice something new, and you use something borrowed. I like a quote that I borrow and use pretty frequently, and it's from Hafiz, and it's this: be the one that changes everyone's luck when you walk into the room. And if I'm feeling a little sluggish or if I'm feeling kind of sad, I'll remind myself of that quote, and it instantly gives me a boost. I lean into that, I borrow that, I use that to keep me steady and focused on my path. So it's something borrowed. Maybe you borrow a daily lesson from the Course in Miracles. Maybe you borrow the lyrics of a song and you sing that when you need a boost. Maybe you borrow a picture that you've seen on the internet and you put that out because it's a goal or it's a place that reminds you of peace. But we are community. You don't have to do this all on your own. Borrow, lean into those things that support you and inspire you. Because when you are lifted, you can lift everyone else too. So don't be afraid to borrow those things that resonate with you, that inspire you, and that boost you. Because we are community. We are here to grow together, to cry together, and to laugh together. So every day, you lean into that something old, practice something new, and use something borrowed, because we are here together, and together we will see this through. So we've got something old, got something new, you're going to use something borrowed. So the last thing is you. You! Because you are the most important thing that you can bring into this new and emerging world. You. Your smile, your determination, your laugh, your heart, your ability to listen, your willingness to fail, and your willingness to try, your determination, the way you pray for others, you showing up. That is one of the most vital things that you can do to stay anchored as you emerge into this world that is changing and new. Now, I know you have a gift. Maybe your gift is that you're very creative. Maybe you're a wonderful friend. Maybe you're good with animals, or maybe you're wonderful in taking care of the earth. So you have a gift. This moment is your chance to use that gift, to experience that gift, to trust in that gift. But I want you to know something, my friend. It's not just that you have a gift. In this world, I want you to know that you are the gift. It's not a practice you have or a thing you do. The gift to this world is truly you. Because you are light, you are spirit, you are here. And that is what this world needs. More than anything, we just need you. So as you stay anchored and centered in this new and changing world, I want you to remember that the most important thing that you can do is honor, nurture, and be you. So here we are, something old, something new, every day something you borrow, and then there's you. If you can settle into those things each day, if you can implement and practice those truths every moment of every day, you will find that no matter what the circumstances are out there, within you, you can stay steady, you can stay centered, and you will feel strong. Something old, something borrowed, something new, and then there's you. So I decided, as I was thinking about this talk, that I wanted to do something special, and I didn't exactly know what that would be. But after that experience that I was telling you about in the car with my daughter and the mask, I really felt guided to start writing when I got home. And I didn't know what exactly I was going to write, but I started writing and writing and writing, and it ended up being something of a poem or an invitation or a proclamation. And so I want to read what I wrote for you. I want to share that with you. And it's called You Are Here. So here it is for you. You are here. The world seems new and uncertain, unknown. What should you do? The old patterns and habits, the paths tried and true, are rickety and rocky. What can you do? Maybe you are fine or happy enough. You certainly didn't want to deal with this stuff. Who wants to change? Routine is quite easy. Rock the boat too much, and you're bound to get queasy. But suddenly one day, the world crashed down. Uncertainty looming, no answers found. Perhaps this will work. Oh, no, wait, it won't. Here, try this. Stop! No, don't. Hunkered at home, you had to stay put, striving to stay steady, with constant change afoot. Tightly you bunkered, afraid to move. It's hard to feel grounded when you've lost your groove. Yet, slowly and surely, the storm started to clear. The worst was behind you. Bright skies drew near. Alas, unused parts get rusty and stiff. You can come out now, they say. But you think, what if? What if you dive right in? Sink or swim? Go out on a limb? Just to start over again? What if it's too soon? Maybe you're too late. Might as well just quit. Give up. Accept your fate. Or maybe, just maybe, this change was a gift. Maybe, just maybe, you feel a small shift. A spark, a light, a thought, clear and true. Maybe you'll pave a way that's perfect for you. You don't have to go back to what's always been. You can choose to be different with a change from within. From mild to wild, from meek to sleek, from doubtful to hopeful, with courage in heaps. Ready to say yes, or happy saying no. You can choose how to live when you trust what you know. Know that you are wonderful. Know that you are wise. Know that when you smile, light shines in your eyes. Know that you are here, filled with grace. Know that your heart is a sacred space for love. You've made it this far. You've seen it through. Keep going, my friend. A new day awaits you. Today, you could take a chance or learn to dance. You could boldly speak about your stance on oceans, the forest, the rivers or trees, animals, the homeless, the poor, or the elderly. You might just decide, shocking but true, that the expectations of others no longer limit you. Whew! You could read a book or pen one yourself. Go to the library and see your name on the shelf. Today you could create an altar, a sweet little nook, judgment-free, where you can look in your heart. You could take a nap or just spend the day watching the clouds. It's okay to slow down. Breathe. You could accept who you are, celebrate your soul, appreciate the past, and then learn to let go of the guilt and the doubt, the ifs, ands, or buts. Holding on to that stuff will make you go nuts. You might plant a seed or a single flower because you now accept the single power of one, you. You've made it this far. You've seen it through. Keep going, my friend. This day is a gift, and so are you. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for emerging into this world with something old, something new, something borrowed, and mostly you. Namaste. So now, let's take a moment just to breathe. I'm so thankful that you are here. So if you're comfortable, I'd like you to go ahead and close your eyes. We'll just spend a few moments tuning in, centering, feeling into that sacred space of spirit that's right there in the heart. So if it's comfortable for you, go ahead and close your eyes. Wherever you are, just relax and breathe. I invite you to drop your shoulders, soften your jaw. You don't need to hold on to anything. Just let yourself be here, right now. Relax your face. Let your shoulders drop one more time. Just let go. Let go. And I'd like you to imagine that you're walking in a beautiful park-like setting. The grass is so lush and green. And the sky is an incredible, brilliant blue. No clouds, just blue. And just ahead of you, on this path, is a beautiful, strong, old tree. This tree is so old. Its trunk is so wide, you couldn't even put your arms around it if you tried. It's seen decades of change. It stood the test of time. Wise, rooted, steady, the tree stands, proud and tall. And you've been walking for a bit, so you decide that it might be nice to sit under the shade of this old tree. And so imagine that you sit down, resting your back against the solid, thick trunk. The ground is cool. The bark is a little scratchy. But you feel completely supported. You feel safe sitting with this tree. And as you rest with your back against the tree, just look around. You notice down in the grass there's a little flower. New growth. Sweet little purple flower just opening up. And you don't recognize the flower. You don't know the flower by name. And you don't need to. You just appreciate this new blossom, this new expression of life. Because it's so beautiful, so fresh, right there for you. And then you look around and you notice that on the tree, someone has carved a heart, a symbol of love. And you know that although that message is not specifically intended for you, it is now received by you. That it is there for you to know that you are loved. And trace your hands around the way this heart is carved. And it feels good to experience that. To know that right there is love. Then you lean back into the tree and just take in this moment. You are there to appreciate the wisdom, the presence of this tree, the color, the freshness, the vibrancy of the little flower, the timeless message of love, and the gift of life. That without you, all this would go unnoticed. You are here to enjoy, to appreciate, and to savor all this good. And as you relax into that, there's no past. There's no control of the future. You just feel oneness, present with all that is. You are completely supported, filled with life, unconditionally loved. You. And let that feeling of unity and support and oneness just move through your entire being. And then when you're comfortable, as you're ready, in your own time, just bring your attention back to this moment, back to your body, and back to this room. Open your eyes slowly. I want to thank you once again for being you, for remembering those things that are old, for practicing those things that are new, for leaning into those things that are borrowed. But thank you for being you. Namaste.